Good morning. Welcome to your yoga practice. We are getting into the hips today, hip mobility and stability. I'm starting seated with a bit of a hero pose, some blocks under sit bones, knees together. If you would like to start like that, you're welcome to. First few minutes of arrival, you can be cross-legged, just a tall, upright, noble spine. You might also come onto your back if you'd like that as well. Shifting the awareness inside, maybe closing eyes and fuzzing the gaze. A few breaths to fully arrive on your mat, in your body. And we take this first amount of time to check in and be fully aware and present, releasing thoughts about the past, what's to come for the day, really settling into this moment, being present, mindful. As you become more mindful by observing what's here, you might notice sensations in the body, your mood, what your energy is. No need to push anything away. Just welcome what's ever here. You might allow your awareness to settle maybe in the palms of the hands or onto the breath. Keeping a softness into the face and jaws, an upright but gentle posture. You might notice the breath in your belly, in your ribs, or on the tip of your nose. Letting the mind come back to the anchor of the breath or the hands whenever the mind wanders off. And then start to allow the breath to deepen into the belly. And if you'd like to have hands on belly, you can do that. Allowing the breath to be three-dimensional, inhaling through the nose, and then slow, long exhales through the mouth with pursed lips like you're blowing out a candle, drawing the belly in. Letting the exhales be really long. This is down regulating the nervous system and stimulating the vagus nerve. On your next inhale, just open your arms wide, letting the front of the chest open, palms reaching back, shoulder blades squeeze. And then exhale, give yourself a hug. And you might scoop the belly in, rounding chin to chest, a little bit of a tuck of the tailbone under, a seated cat cow. Inhale to lift and open chest. Exhale, scooping around. So feeling into armpits, shoulder blades, upper back, front of chest. Witness what's here. And moving with your breath. Eventually, nice and tall, we'll reach those arms up towards the sky. And then do a lean over to one side, maybe letting one hand come down, leaning over, connect to your core. Anchor into the sit bones, float up through center, and exhale over to the other side. Good. Moving with your breath again. So inhale, floating up, exhale, leaning, opening up the side body. Balancing out the sides. And then we'll come off props if you are seated like I am. And let the knees both point over to one side. So it's sort of like a side saddle posture. Pausing there. Take the natural hand that feels like coming behind you and reach the other arm across. We're coming into the space between the shoulder blades and then ease off a little bit. So it's a bit of a twist for the belly. So let this be an exhale and then release. And then we'll take this a little bit further, allowing the arm to reach over top the head, open wide, bend at the wrist so it's like you're opening the hand as far as it'll go, sweep, sweep, sweep across, and then come back into that twist. You might feel this in the front of the armpit as you open wide into the upper back, the spine when you're in the twist. Just noticing. Good. And one more like that. Nice. Release the hands and let the knees come over to the other side. Hands can come behind you to support to start if you like. And we're going back and forth from side to side. So remember which side you're on. You might pick up the feet as you go. You might kind of slide the feet apart and then bend over to the other side. Now, see if eventually, and this becomes a little bit weirder, and I gotta sit back a little bit because it's traveling, you might allow the hands to come off as you go side to side. So a little bit of core work here. I feel like I slightly start moving. Good. Yeah. Now land back on the original side that you started on. Let the hands come just in front of that shin. So you have one hand in front of the knee, one hand in front of the ankle. Inhale to lengthen the spine up. And then, like you're doing a cat cow again, I call this little dolphin dives. Draw your nose towards the shin and then roll your nose along the ground or hovering from the ground and then lift up. Lowering down, this is kind of like our fallen pigeon. So you might feel this and hip on that side. Good. Two more. Now the knee that you're over top of, take the same hand behind you. Now there's two options. The other arm you can reach up and over and come into a side bend again. Both knees can stay on the ground and you can lift the hip up. Or there's a third option. You might kick out the opposite leg, the one that's behind you, and lift and squeeze. So it's kind of like a modified wild thing. And you can come up and down if you like. Maybe one more. Good. So getting into the front of the hip a bit. Now widen both legs apart. Remember which side you had your knees towards. Widen both legs apart as wide as it works for you. You can always take a chip block and put it behind your bottom and sort of lift the hips up a little bit and pull them back. So you just have kind of the fleshy bits sitting on the block. Let the arms come down for a moment. And then we'll inhale to reach one arm up and over. And as you draw that arm back, turn towards the leg and let the other arm come on the outside of the opposite leg. And we'll do that again. So reaching up and over, and then twist towards the opposite leg. And reaching up and over, and twist towards the opposite leg. Come back to center and we'll change. So other arm reaches up and over, and twist towards the other leg. Opposite hand comes over, and over. One more. Good. From here, turn forward and see about leaning forward. Legs are nice and wide. It's not about how far you get down to the ground. It's just about starting to feel a stretch into the inner thighs. Let the toes and the knees face up towards the sky. Breathe here. Nice inner thigh stretch going as far as is comfortable in your body. And then walk the hands up. Take the bottom of the feet together, but the bottom of the feet are going to be quite wide away from the hips so that you're not drawing the feet in. Push the feet together and then see about lowering forward this time. So you might feel this a bit more on the bum cheeks. Typically for this one, the hands kind of go underneath the ankles and you fold forward. It's like a little tortoise. Another breath. And then unwinding the hands, lift the torso, knees head over to the opposite side. So we started on one side, now you're heading over to the other one. Same hand as the knee that's sort of bent forward. The one that feels like you just want to lean into goes down. Reach the arm across, draw into the belly. Feel into the space of the shoulder blades and come out a little bit. So it's like heading in and out. Heading in and out. Good. Doing that movement into the twist on your exhale. And then allow the arm to lift up and over top the head. Reach back, bend at the wrist, send the fingertips away, and then sweep, sweep, sweep across. Back into the belly, lift and reach up. Good. Sweeping across. Opening front of the chest, upper back. You might feel this in the hips as well. Last one. Good. And then the legs again, we're going over to the other side and back. And you might have those arms right out of the equation, side to side, feeling this into your belly, the hips. And I'm slowly moving forward on my mat. And then land back over to the other side, to the side that you were just on. One hand in front of the ankle, one hand in front of the knee. Lengthen the spine. And then, like you're rounding into your cat pose, draw your nose towards the shin and then kind of along the mat. It doesn't have to touch the mat, and lift up. Scooping, rounding, coming into these little dolphin dives. Good, one more. Nice. And then that same hand that comes behind you, you might keep your knees down, you might keep your hips down, lifting up one arm and heading over into another side bend, or lift the hips up, squeeze the glutes. You might feel that in the front of the psoas, the hip flexor, and lower down. One leg might kick out if that feels better. Good. And one more lift. Nice. Eventually, come to your tabletop posture. See about wiggling the hips side to side. You might do some hip circles if you like, just feeling into the body. And as you're here, see about getting your blocks into the front of your mat. You want to have those close by as well. Little hip wiggles, little circles. Maybe circling the other way. Okay, so then come to a place of stability. So belly drawn in, nice and stable, long in the spine. And we'll pick up that right leg, keep the knee bent. And as if you're pushing the foot towards the sky, you'll do a little lift and then lower. So a little lift and lower, little pulses. So you're not lowering very far. It's not about major height. It's just about feeling into the back of the legs. This is a bit for the hamstring, all moving and drawing into the hips. Couple more. And then start with that little lift and roll the knee out to the side and back in big circles. So we're doing this big, big circle. And then see how big you can go, that you might even draw the knee up almost towards the shoulder as you circle around. Connect to the core as you're doing this movement. Good. Now we're going to squeeze the knee up to its own shoulder, and then keeping the knee bent, dip it behind and across and over behind the other knee. So it's a left and up to its own side, and then back and over behind the other knee. Lifting up and squeeze to the shoulder and back and behind. Let's do that one more time. Lifting up, over, and back and behind. And as you go behind this time, widen the feet apart a little bit, and then see about sending the bum back, coming into a little sit. This is our cow face pose. Now, you might not be able to draw your bum back all the way, and that's fine. If your knees are speaking to you, listen. Notice how this is, how this feels. Another breath. And we'll come all the way back up. unwind that leg, and we'll head to the other side. So the belly is in, we're nice and stable, lifting the opposite leg up, and we're doing little pulses. Lift and lower, lift and lower. Still breathing, still present. And then we'll start our circling with that lift, circling out towards the shoulder, letting the knee come down and around, big circles. Keeping the belly nice and stable. And then begin to let the knee head up towards the shoulder and then across and over behind the other knee, almost like you're dipping it down to the other side. Up. And then dip down. Good. Maybe one more like that. That lift up by any amount, dipping down, and then pause. Let the feet come apart from each other and send the bum back. Hands to support. See how that is in the hips. Aware of what's happening with knees. Remember, you can always ignore me. And breathe here. And then come back up. Unwind the legs. Step the right foot forward and place the knee and ankle in line with each other. I'm just going to turn towards you a little bit here. So the knee is going to be forward. Have your block on the inside of the foot by any height, whatever works for you. Send the other leg back so you're in a nice lunge, back knee down, hands both on the inside. Now, without letting the foot come off the floor, we're going to push the knee into the elbow. So you're pushing knee into the side of the arm and hold for 5 breaths. Or count to 5. Now keep the foot as it is and then push the knee out, but don't lift the inside of the foot. Push out. I'll do that again. So pull the knee in towards the arm. 5 seconds. And then push the leg out. Don't lift the foot, any part of the foot. Push out. Good, let's do that one more time. Pull in. And then pushing out. Good. Now that you have that, let the hips head back. Draw the toe towards the knee. Hands can stay where they are or go on either side of the foot, bowing over the leg. Your half splits pose. And then move in and out of this lunge. You might have blocks on either side of the foot. And to the half splits pose. As you do this, the opposite hip towards the front foot, you might feel the hip flexor, the front of the hip there. And we'll start to take that a little further. So come now into that low lunge. Hands can stay on the blocks if you like, and you can pause and hold, or hands might transfer up to the front thigh. Pause and breathe. Back toe can be straight or untucked. Maybe arms can lift and reach if that feels okay. Shifting hips forward, so we're having that stretch in the hip flexor on the left side. And then squeeze belly and turn towards the right, towards that front knee. Arms can open forward and back if that feels okay. Nice. Hands can come down if you like that better. Breathe. And then unwind. Hands come to frame the front foot, and then we'll slide that front foot back. Back to the knees, back to your tabletop, maybe a little hip wiggle. And head to the other side. So the left foot is coming forward this time. You might have your blocks there. Letting the foot wiggle forward enough so you can have ankle and knee in line. Then both hands come to the inside, and you have the hands close to the foot. You'll keep the whole foot down and push the knee in towards the arm. Breathe and hold. Good. Now keep the foot where it is without lifting inner part of the foot, and push the knee out. Nice. We'll go back to pulling the knee in, drawing it towards the arm. The arm is resisting. Pushing the foot down, let the knee come out. Good. Again, pushing the knee towards the arm. And then pushing the knee out. Good. From there, hands can stay in the inside or go to frame the foot and shift the hips back, draw the toe towards the knee, bowing down towards the leg by any amount, and then move through your low lunge and your Ardha Hanumanasana, your monkey deity pose or half splits pose. Noticing how this side might be different than the other side. Not as an opportunity to judge, just curious. Eventually land in your low lunge, and you can keep your hands down if you like and breathe and be there. Or hands come up to the front thigh, pause and hold, belly in. Maybe the arms lift up towards the sky. Nice and stable. And then eventually you might turn towards that front knee to the left side. Hands can reach forward and back if you like that, or hold onto the legs at any point. As you unwind, you can release the blocks and shift that front foot back. Come into your plank pose. So you could be on hands, you could be on forearms, whatever works for your body or you feel like doing in this moment. Eventually lowering down onto your belly. And we'll come into a cobra pose, but a little bit different. So we'll start with our cobra. So hands under shoulders, elbows in, shoulders down the back, taking an inhale. As you exhale, lift the chest to rise the heart forward. And keep breathing, hold for a moment. And then release. So we'll do the same movement with the chest, but allow the knees to just be a little bit apart from each other. Not so much that they are really wide, just sort of hip width distance. Bend the knees so that the feet come towards your bum, and then come back on exhale into that posture. Now, this could feel like enough for you, that you don't want or don't need to go any deeper listening to your body. When you're ready, you can release and come back into that. Or if you like, you can reach the hands towards the feet, the pant legs, and one more time, come up. And this time you might squeeze shoulder blades together, coming into your bow pose. All options work. Breathing here. Whenever that's enough for you, release the hands to stack under forehead. Have those knees stay bent and just windshield wiper side to side. And then it's your call. You can stay here and rest and listen to your breath. You can head back into tabletop or maybe to child's pose. Or of course you have an option to go into downward dog, maybe pedaling out the feet, spending some time there. If you come into downward dog, you might lift one leg up, open the hip, bend that knee, and almost like you're sending the foot towards the opposite bum cheek, sort of opening that whole side, pressing into the hands. You don't have to do that, it's just an option. Then you might shift over to the other side, lifting that leg up and bending. Eventually, when you feel ready, your own time, your own way, you might come into a forward fold or all the way up to standing, whatever works for your body. You might do that halfway lift to rise, exhale to fold, and then press the feet down to inhale and lift and reach and rise all the way up. Exhaling, hands to heart. Good. Inhale, lift and reach. And exhale. Nice. One more time. Big inhale, reach. And exhale. Let's draw our hands to our heart, a moment to feel into our feet, find stability, inner focus, inner gaze. And then we're taking our left leg up and out to the side. So this is a bit of a longer hold for the leg. So if you want to have a wall to hold onto or a chair or something like that, that's totally fine. We're working on hip mobility. It is a balance, but hip mobility here. So we're going to lift the left leg up and then draw it out to the side and squeeze it up as far as you can. Flex the foot. See what I mean about balance? Flex the foot and then let go with the hand and see if you can hold it. So breathe, hold, hold. Good. Connect to the core. Keep holding. See how far up you can get that leg. Another breath. And then we'll turn the leg back to center and release. So we're just doing the left leg to start. Now we'll bring the feet a little wide, toes pointing out to the side, hands to the heart, lowering down into your squat. And however low you go is not as important. It's just about where it feels comfortable. From here, lift up the inside of that right leg and reach the right arm up. And then take the right hand down, lift inside of the left leg, lift the left arm up. And we'll move side to side. So inside of the foot, right side, right arm. Inside of the left foot, left arm, and one more each way, inside of that right foot and down, inside of that left foot and down. Push into the feet, hands might come to the knees, lift all the way back up. And then we're stepping that left foot to the back of the mat for our warrior two. So bend into that right knee. Open the legs nice and wide, have the back toe kind of pointing to the middle of the mat. Take the right hand to the outside of the right knee. Push the right knee into the hand, let the hand resist and relax. Push out and relax. Push out. Good. And relax. Let the arms float into your warrior two. Soft shoulders. Breathe here. And then turn that front palm up into a reverse warrior. Face maybe to the bicep or down to the back foot. Keep the firmness into the legs. And then straighten that front leg. Hinge forward into our triangle pose. Allow the right arm to come down. Turn chest towards the sky. See how it feels in inner thighs. Top arm might reach up towards the sky if that feels okay. Keeping it soft. Not needing to press the arm back too far. Push down with the feet to come all the way up. And then turn the feet so that the toes point out to the sides. Sit down into your goddess. Let the arms come up to goddess as well. Starting with arms, elbows and wrists will squeeze together. And then inhale, open. Exhale to squeeze. Inhale, open. Good. Exhale, squeeze. From here, right heel lifts up, arms left, and then lower down. Left heel lifts and arms, and lower. Good. Right heel and arms. Nice. Left heel. Good. And then one more time. Right heel. And left. Nice. Release the arms, straighten the legs. Let's roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Good. And one more time. Nice. Turn towards the front of the room. So you have that, or front of the mat. So the right foot is pointing forward. Left heel might be lifted. It'd be great if it was. Allow the arms to reach up. So we're in our high lunge now. So bend into that right knee. And then allow the arms to come down behind you as you lean forward. Now this time, as you reach the arms, take that back knee a little lower. So you're bending the back knee. And then lift the arms and do a lean forward. Let's do one more like that. So the back knee lowers. Actually, we'll do two more. And then doing a lean forward. And last one, arms come up. And then a little lean forward. Good. Step that back foot forward and give your legs a little bit of a shake. Yeah. All right. Coming to the right leg. So if you need to have a wall, fine, great, go to the wall. Letting that right leg come up, hands maybe to the shin. Open the knee up and out to the side and squeeze up. Flex the foot. Keep the leg wherever it is. Release the hand. So you're holding strong, feeling into the belly. Breathe nice and strong. Good. Another breath. Draw the knee back to center and then release. We'll step that right foot to the back of the mat for your warrior two. Turning the toe towards the midline, bending into that left knee. Take the left hand to the outside of the leg and push the leg out, holding the hand in place, and then release. So pushing out, holding, and release. One more time, push out, And release. Allow the arms to float, soft shoulders, maybe wrapping the left hip underneath, tail tucking. Hold and breathe. Release the back arm down, turn the front palm, lift it up towards the sky. Gaze might go to the bicep or to the back foot based on the neck. Feel into the strength of the legs. And then straighten that left leg, hinge forward. Let the left arm come down, chest turns towards the side of the room. Right arm might sail up or behind your back, whatever feels good. Breathing. Push down to lift all the way up. Release the arms, turn the feet out to the sides again. We'll come back to our goddess sitting back down. Yeah, nice. Nice and stable. So this time let the hands come to the thighs, and we'll dip one shoulder down towards the midline and then back up. And then dip the other shoulder down to midline, almost like you're pushing inner thighs apart a little bit as you do that. Good. One more each way. Nice. Back to center. Press into the feet. Lift all the way up. Turn towards the front of the mat. Allow the back heel to lift. Let the arms come up. Bend into that front knee. And then lean forward. Reaching the arms back. As you lift the arms, bend the knee down towards the ground. And then as you straighten the back leg, do a little lean forward. Connect to the core. Back knee bends, arms left. A little lean. One more time. And a little lean. And step that back foot forward. Give your legs a little bit of a shake. Nice. And we're coming back to that balance. So you just want to check in to changes in the mobility here. So we'll lift up the left leg. Lift it all the way up through center. Release the hands. Give it a big squeeze up. Breathe here. And then open that knee out to the side. The wall is there if you need. Flex the foot. See if there's any changes. Maybe allow the hands to come away. As the knee come any bit further up, draw back to center and release. We'll go into the other side. So the other knee squeezes up. Do a little extra squeeze up into the chest. Finding your core, open the knee out to the side. Flex the foot, draw it up towards the armpit. And then release. Pause and hold. Good. Draw that leg back in. And release. Push into the feet. Inhale, soar up. Exhale, diving forward. Hands to the shins to halfway lift and lengthen. Rise the spine. Exhale, you can take a bit of time in this forward fold if you like, or head into your plank pose whenever you feel ready. Staying in plank as long as you like, coming down to your belly when you feel ready as well. Now you can come back to your cobra pose, coming up on that exhale to draw the belly in. If you like, again, a little width into the legs, letting the knees bend and come back into that cobra pose with the sense of lifting the knees a bit off the ground. And then if it feels comfortable, you might reach for the feet, letting the chest and the legs all lift up, squeezing shoulder blades, front of the chest open. Whenever that's enough, release hands under the forehead. Legs can windshield wiper side to side. Just taking some time, you might kind of egg beater the legs if that feels good. Soften face and jaws. Maybe a couple big exhales out the mouth. And then, of course, you can go to child's pose or downward dog, tabletop, whatever feels good. Might do some hip wiggles, some circling of the hips. You might like to do little hip dips from one side to the other. And then the option is to widen the legs out and let the hands come forward. And you're sort of leaning forward and then pressing back. And Sophia said to me earlier that she does this, but she only goes backwards, which I thought was cool. So you're widening the legs apart so the inner thighs get a bit of movement. Sometimes I bring the forearms down and just move forward and back with forearms. If there's a spot that feels particularly interesting, you might pause and hold, breathing. Another breath. And then slowly draw those knees in. You can send your hips over to one side and we'll come to a seat, getting whatever props you need for behind your head, any clothes, layers that you need. Slowly lowering down, tucking your tailbone, rounding down. And grab your strap as well. The strap, middle of the strap, and place around the ball of that right foot, lifting the right leg. Start to sort of draw the leg in towards you. Think more about just having the leg kind of up and down from the hip. Tug the ends of the strap down towards the hip, and then do tiny, tiny little circles. Hydrating into that hip joint. And then circle around the other way. So from this place of being plugged in, then you can draw the leg towards you a little bit, towards your torso. Opposite leg could be bent or straight, whatever feels good. Breathe into the sensations, present, noticing when your mind wanders. Another breath. And then take the ends of the strap into the right hand, let the other leg come up and open the leg out to the side. And as you do this, see how it is to adjust the internal or external rotation so that the knee might point a bit more externally towards the floor. and the toe as well. See how that shifts the sensations in the inner thigh. As the leg is open, you're drawing it up towards the shoulder on the right side as well. Another breath. And then when the legs come back together, take the side of this right foot and place it onto the left thigh. You can use your strap still or hands under the back of that left thigh or left foot to the floor for your figure four posture, breathing into that right hip, the external rotators, the piriformis. Soften face and jaws. Eventually unwind the right leg. Keep the left knee into the chest as you strap the bottom of the foot with the middle of the strap. Lift it all the way up. Have the leg sort of parallel to the walls and draw down into the hip, doing a tiny, tiny little circle. And then begin to circle around the other way. From that place of being plugged in, the leg might draw towards you, breathing. Other leg could stay bent or extend long. Inner focus, feeling breath and sensations. Eventually release at both ends of the strap. Go to that left hand. Right knee comes up and the legs start moving apart from each other. Adjusting how the foot is pointing. So you might have the toe rotating, knee rotating downward of the extended leg. Breathe into the sensations present. As that left leg comes back in, take the side of the foot to that right thigh. You might have the right foot on the floor, or you might draw that right leg in with hands or strap. Maybe a little rock side to side, finding a spot that feels good for the stretch. Breathe, soften face, inner focus. Eventually release both feet to the floor. Hold opposite elbows and then exhale, knees down to one side, arms to the other. Inhale to float through center, exhale to the other side. So if the feet are apart, this might be a little bit more for the hips again. If the feet are together, It might feel a bit more of a twisty bit for the spine. Maybe doing a couple of one and a couple of the other. And then let those knees come into the chest, just giving yourself a little hug. Maybe nose comes up to the knees. And then float hands and feet to the sky, circling hands and feet a couple times. And a couple times the other way. And then shake the arms, shake the legs. Just get rid of any gunk that your body doesn't need anymore. Let it all go. Take a deep, deep inhale. As you exhale, release the limbs. Take another deep, long inhale. Big sigh out the mouth. Maybe one more. Notice, witness how things are. Acknowledge sensations in the body. See where you can surrender and let go for your Shavasana. And shift your awareness back towards your body, witnessing sensations, changes since the start of your practice, your mood, your energy. Allowing the breath to deepen, maybe wiggling fingers and toes. You might give yourself a long stretch, maybe wiggling through the hips, pressing hands and feet away, or knees could come into the chest. And just take your time. Any movements that your body needs. And then eventually rolling to your side for a breath or two. When you feel ready, you can come up to a comfortable seat, maybe with the hands at the thighs or at the place of the heart, whatever feels best for you. You can always lie in Shavasana a little longer. And the offer, if you like, is to bow your head towards your heart in a sign of gratitude. Gratitude to yourself for practicing today, for listening to your inner teacher, and gratitude to those who have brought this ancient South Asian wisdom and practice to us. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free. Slowly lift your gaze. Thank you all so much for being here. We bring our hands to our forehead for clarity of thought, to our mouths for purity of speech, to our heart for openness of heart. And we close with a little bow. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Peace, peace, peace.